how to set yourself up for an amazingly wonderful day. Calibrate your day. How do you do it? Literally, it's very simple. The game is won or lost before it begins. That's from John Wooden, that legendary coach. Before anything else, planning is the key to success. And that is from Alexander Graham Bell. Shouldn't we adhere to these principles? Shouldn't we also think of our day before we actually start our day? Jim Rohn said, finish your day on paper before you've ever started it. And I think this is great advice, because if we don't go in the day with a plan, we don't have a way that we want to go, and we're probably going to be all over the place. So what do? We start planning. And I have several principles that I use myself that I would like to share with you, some tips, tricks, tools. But let me first introduce myself. My name is Anton Bennink, and this is the Freedom Lifestyle Show. A show in which I like to share a lot of what I come across as I'm on my journey of personal discovery and personal development. These tips, tricks, tools that I come across and have come across over the past decade or so, I love sharing, but especially I love helping people with drawing the best out of them. You've got deep reservoirs of potential locked up inside of you. And once you start tapping into that unlimited, infinite potential that is locked up deep within us, you're going to astound yourself with what you're actually capable of doing and how you're actually capable of living. And that is why I like to share what I learn with you or with whoever is willing to listen. Because we all deserve to live that better life. And this planning, this preparation, this making our days ready for us to live them the way that we want to live them is an essential part. So let's go over what I do on a daily basis. On a daily basis, before I finish the day, I ask myself, what did I achieve today? Because so many people run around all day, every day, without any clue at the end of the day of what they've achieved. They come home and they say, oh, honey, I've had such a busy day. Oh, wow, well, what did you achieve? And then it's like, well, yeah, what did I actually achieve? Been running around all day, but no clue about what the actual result was. So that's the very first question I ask myself at the end of every day. What did I achieve today? And then the next question I ask myself, what did I learn today? What spoke to both my head and especially what spoke to my heart? What did I learn? And then I ask myself, how did I grow? What touched me and affected my action? Why did I do things the way that I did them today? How did I grow because of it? I think about that question, and I don't try to be too intellectual when I answer these questions. I try to let them flow out of me, like let them come from the true self, as they might say. Not truly thinking, but letting it come out. And then the truth comes out when you're not trying to be too intellectual about it, but more emotional. Feel the answers come out. The very last question I tend to ask myself every day is, what will I do different? So looking back upon today, what can I do different to make tomorrow better than it was today? So that gives me an overview of my day, my thoughts, my feelings, my actions, my results, my achievements. Based upon that, I grab another little 3x5 card and I write up 6 goal achieving activities for tomorrow. I think about it. What are the 6 things that I can do tomorrow that will have the highest impact on my results. This is actually a strategy that I've learned from Ivy Lee. And Ivy Lee taught it to Charles Schwab. And I believe Charles Schwab was from the United States Steel Corporation. And he was looking for ways. He already ran a successful company, but he knew that his leadership team needed to do things, or was able to do things better, more effectively. But they weren't doing it, which is also called the knowing doing gap. Why do they know to do better? And they know how to do better, but they're not doing it. So Ivy Lee said, well, I can in 20 minutes flat show you a strategy that helps you and your leadership team become more effective. And I'll show it to you, and after you've determined how much this idea has been worth to you, you can send me a check. So he spoke with the leadership team and he spoke with Charles Schwab, and he told them, write out the 6 most important things that you have to do to move towards the corporate goal, or their goal at that time. What are the 6 most important things that you got to do? Write them up. Then rank them. What is the first most important thing that you got to do? What is the second most important thing that you got to do? And so on. After having done this, he said, now you put it in your pocket. Tomorrow morning, when you come into the office or when you come into work, you take out and you start with number 1. You don't do anything, you don't look up, you don't look left, you don't look right until number 1 is done. Maybe you'll have an interruption. Then you'll deal with the interruption, because let's be honest, shiitake happens during the day, but you organize what needs to be organized, but then when it wasn't finished yet, you go back to task number 1 and you stay with it until it is accomplished. And then you move to task number 2. At the end of the day, you sit down again and write out 6 new most important activities for tomorrow, and you rank them again. You do this every day, and every day you start with the first, then the second, then the third, and so you continue on. But you don't do anything else but the first or the most important task that is then on the priority list. After a couple of months, I think it was after 3 months, Ivy Lee received a check for $25,000. Well, keep in mind, this happened about 100 years ago, more or less. So in today's money, that would have been about $500,000. A single idea, taking about 20 minutes to explain. I just explained it to you in probably more about 2 minutes. Worth $500,000. You can send me the check later, by the way. But this idea is worth its weight in gold. So if you want to start implementing one thing to plan and to prepare your day in the most effective and efficient way, start using this. Start using that idea worth $500,000 today. Choose the 6 most important things that you need to do to move towards your goal. Prioritize them. And then when you wake up, you start with priority numero 1. Wow. Easy, eh? Isn't it? To prepare our days. Thank you very much for listening, by the way. If you want my guidance, because we all know by now that to be able to change our results, we need to change our behavior. And to be able to change our behavior, we have to change our paradigm. If you want my help guiding you through that process, of first identifying what it is that you really want out of life, and then helping you with a time-tested, proven system to achieve that what it is that you really want, then you can sign up for a free strategy call at www.teamwithme.com. tir-coaching.com. Thank you very much for listening, and if you have anything to tell me, please leave it below in the comments. If you have tips to share, please leave it with us. Have a wonderful day, my friends. Live with love and live with passion. Namaste.